right, this man has actually bucked the trend. Let's put it this way. I've got to actually clap for him because he's actually come out as a savior. Arjun Kapoor, brother, congratulations!
Thank you, यार.
मरने का ना डर था तुम्हें, बस हारने का डर था और तुम जीत गए. First of all, congratulations are in order. I'll tell you why. Not just for Ek Villain Returns. When we look at your list of films, even your worst films, and I'm going to come straight to the point, have always made money. They've always made money. You have the maximum releases. Do you think you get enough credit? I have to ask you this straight out. Do they give you enough credit, the industry? Does the public give you enough credit?
I think you're giving me credit now. That's a starting point. People are giving me credit subconsciously. Kabhi time lag jata hai. You know, it's not always the first few films that set the trend. Sometimes you need a bit of time. So I don't want to be moping and complaining, cribbing and be bitter about it. You just got to keep your head down and keep working. It sounds diplomatic to say this, but honestly, I think the people that work within the industry give me far more credit than a lot of people realize because that's how you get more work. The community realizes your value and what you bring to the table because the box office is a business that is based on numbers and recoveries and cost and jo aakde hote, which is what makes the profession a business. So I think within the community and the industry, I've always had a certain value in regard. That's why I get to do good work. I think
you
the
get to do
audience
a
does.
lot of work also.
Yeah.
I mean, you do a lot of work, bro.
By choice, I tend to take on a lot more films, yeah, Salil, because मुझे घर पे बैठना पसंद नहीं और I back myself to do all kinds of films. I mean, I wanted to do Bhoot Police, I did it. मुझे लगा horror comedy भी करते सैफ के साथ, action thriller भी करते जॉन के साथ. तो fearless होके काम करने का देखो मौका मिला. I'm in the fortunate few who's getting to do this job and I love it and I'm pretty decent at it. So I make the most of it. Why keep waiting around and be scared? कभी ना कभी सबको वैल्यू समझ आ जाएगी. धीरे-धीरे थोड़े लोगों को आ रही है और देर में और लोग को आ जाएगी.
What about the numbers game? Now, you know, it's become such a crazy, insecure time for everyone, okay? And it's not just us Bollywood people. On Thursday night, were you worried about Friday morning for Ek Villain?
I think anybody that says otherwise is lying. I was not worried. This time I was hopeful because the trailer and the songs had been appreciated. You know, the trailer had done a pretty decent job of creating a set of expectations. तो मुझे पता था ऐसा नहीं लोग जाएंगे नहीं. जो पिछले 2-3 महीने में कुछ फिल्मों के साथ unfortunately हुआ, at least मुझे इतना भरोसा था कि लोग आएंगे. किस volume में आएंगे, that I was obviously concerned about. It's not an easy time to be an actor and doing theatrical releases right now because we've also got a little comfortable with OTT releases. You know, the pressure goes off. Suddenly you're feeling the pressure again. And you're feeling it at a time जब कुछ पिक्चरें नहीं चली unfortunately.
You know, but another very important thing, when I saw it on a Monday night, 150 rupees was the pricing at Inorbit Mall in Malad, which was fantastic. There were 70 people in the theater with me. And I walked in over there and I said, chalo, weekend par to main samajh sakta hu. But I think a lot of boxes got ticked off with this, you know. You had the right amount to pull the people in. Pricing of a ticket, I think, has become very important for people. So even if they're okay, semi-okay with the movie, they're good.
That, I think, is down to when I spoke to the distributors also. I spoke to Anil Tharani and Bhushan and we didn't want to go for holiday pricing for a film that's a non-holiday release. And why put pressure on the film? And to be honest, times are not the easiest right now. The country in general is not spending as freely because everybody's a little concerned about making sure that you got to get bang for your buck. So you got to keep that in mind. Which is why these numbers are so gratifying because it's easier for people to say, "Arey yaar, 4 हफ्ते बाद हम OTT पे देख लेंगे, 6 हफ्ते बाद देख लेंगे." It's not that easy to get a Monday, Tuesday crowd filling out, and it's not easy to just keep the consistency of appreciation. I'm not saying that we've done the biggest business in the world, but at this point, any business today is a step in the right direction. And like you said, buck the trend. Expectation these days are that we will fall in one direction. So if you can rise above that, that's in itself an achievement. But yeah, full credit, like you're saying. I think कि आम आदमी को यार पैसा वसूल पिक्चर देखने के लिए पैसा वसूल prices भी चाहिए ना. You feel like going and spending money. So that obviously adds. And I think going forward, that's a lesson for the Hindi film industry to keep in mind that you don't need to overprice tickets at this time maybe. Because यार लोगों को theater आना पसंद है. मैं ये नहीं मानता हूँ कि पसंद नहीं है. It's just it become really bloody expensive.
Of course. What I love about this film for you is you're doing everything heroic. है ना? मेरे को गुंडे की याद आ रही थी. You're jumping out of a room. You're blasting a room. You're riding a motorbike. You've got different hair. Your hair's tied back. Your hair's open. You've got a mask out there. This was like everything that you wanted for a hero. This really worked. He ticked all those boxes, Mohit, didn't he?
But it was called Villain. That was the best part.
Yeah.
यार हिंदी फिल्म हीरो बनते हो तो ऐसे रोल्स करने के लिए, I had not done an urban action film ever. I think that was my biggest draw. I've never played a cool action character. I've never played an arrogant, brash guy in the city. I played urban rom-com heroes, and I played small town rustic action heroes. So for me, this was the perfect mix of urban action. So I didn't want to miss out on this for that reason. Like you said, it ticks all the boxes. Bike भी चला रहा है, train में भी fight है, slick back hair भी है, leather jacket भी पहना है, लड़की को वो भी कर रहा है, उसके साथ मतलब he standing on a raft and watching her sing also, बाल उड़ भी रहे slow motion में, end में आके dialogue बचा के लड़की को बचा रहा है. So all the trappings and entertaining the audience along the way. So it ticks all the boxes for sure, but at the same time, I have never done it in this way. I never played a good looking action character. I'd always played a rustic action character. So this is the first for me.
John's so used to this kind of a role. It was a very different kind of a performance for him also. But the two of you together, I wouldn't have thought the two of you would have been like the perfect match together. When the casting was being done, it reminded me sometimes, you've got a big muscly boy in front of you. Did you think about like saying that, I'm going to have to like buff up a lot, even if there are going to be action sequences in there, like the train fight sequences?
Yeah, so I asked Mohit very genuinely. I said, "Yaar, tu bata tujhe kya chahiye?" Because I know he knows my acting potential. I did take some time to work towards that aspect after I spoke to Mohit. I never put pressure on myself to compete with John Abraham because you can't in that aspect. That's not fair. That would be putting false pressure on myself. I'm not that physicality. But action is not about what you do with your clothes off. It's about the intensity that you bring from here. It's about how your physicality is when you're standing up against somebody. There's a lot of heart and a lot of emotion and intensity you got to bring. But for that, you have to feel the part. You have to feel confident and comfortable facing the camera with another man. It's got nothing to do with कपड़े के अंदर क्या है. It's also about कि मतलब वो जिगरा बोलते हैं ना, जिगर होना चाहिए when you're facing another person. But at the same time, I had to look like a guy who doesn't give a damn. So he's not going to be showing up feeling like he needs to outdo John Abraham physically. It's also about he's smart enough, quick enough. And I had to look at ease with Tara, who's obviously playing this young, upcoming rock star, pop star, as you call it. So I didn't want to get caught up in the physicality beyond just being comfortable in my own skin. So it's whether I get off the bike and I do that action sequence alone, or whether I'm walking around Tara, I should look like I can blend with her. At the same time, in the train fight, I should be able to stand up to John Abraham and look like, okay, this guy's not going to back off without a fight. He's ready to take him head on. And it was never about competing with John. It was always about being my own character and holding my own against John Abraham, the character, that character. So I think Mohit that way made it very clear. He wants it to be that sleeveless tattoo, bad boy, biker look. And if you notice those visuals if you ever go on Google or Instagram or whatever, they are not so much about the amount of muscle they have. It's also, but there's also about the attitude and the carriage. There's a physicality, like even the way I sit with the father, the way I'm just sitting around. There's a certain. It's just like playing with a chain, not giving a damn. But that has to come from confidence. I just wanted to be confident on this set. I never wanted to feel underconfident in front of any actor on the set. That's it. My thing was, I'm bloody standing there and I own the stage. When I'm standing there, I don't care who's around me. I needed that arrogance in my head. And only then can you become a guy like Gautam who doesn't care what people feel. Because I'm actually quite the opposite. I'm quite sensitive and well-behaved and sensible. But I needed to get carriage, to carry that personality. I needed to feel at ease with myself physically.
The crazy part is you actually never had a clash. But Janvi's film also came out online and yours comes out in the theatres. And poles apart. So now, were there discussions? And do you come in the house and say, "Maine kar diya, box office par, hua kya?"
Well, the simplest thing happened, Salil. We just sat together on Monday evening. Dad went and saw the film on Monday afternoon, like how you went. On the weekdays, he went and saw it because he wanted to see it in the theatres and he was busy with Good Luck Jerry screening before that. He saw the film. We said, "Let's meet for dinner." We sat down. We had good food. We spoke about everything else, along with Good Luck Jerry and Villain. And we just moved on with our lives being happy. So it actually just, when you're happy for each other, it doesn't matter. We were just at ease. And I think she deserves it. I think I deserve it. I think Dad deserves it for having two films of two kids releasing. Just ease at a time where there's been so much of unevenness for the last 3, 4, 5 years in all our lives. It's just nice to be able to not have to worry for a day and just enjoy the moment and just be together. So as much as I would like to say कि मैंने कर दिया वाली feeling थी, it was more about just being, and that's the nicest feeling for me, just to be able to sit around and chill without stress and anxiety. You know, the releases were done. She's been appreciated so much, and I think
Yeah.
the only thing I did tell her genuinely, I said, listen, I saw the film the next day after that. I said, listen, you actually are so good when you're confident in the roles. Why do you need to always play the damsel in distress? You can actually pull it off.
Yeah.
So she
No,
actually is really good.
I actually love the kind of films she chooses. One would have expected her to do so simple, the classical Dharma, the classical Yashraj kind of films. She could have done that. She chooses such different kind of films always. I love it.
For a fourth film, she's gone again and held her own and done a film where it's literally her. I mean, after Gunjan, she could have gone a little safer, like you're saying, but she's following her heart, and she's a curious actor. You know, आपको आँखों में दिखता है that she's interested. She's there. She's all there, and I really do hope and believe that the audience will see the honesty and that she's got something in her. Yeah, it's not, you know, it's not that she's not interested. You know that she's all in. Her relationship with the mother in the film and all, she's really invested. The dialect she's worked on, her physicality, she's there. She's and I'm sure she'll get better with. She's working in Bawal with Nitesh Tiwari, so it's the sky is the limit for a girl like her. And because she's a student, I really love talking to her about films because I see a lot of similarities between her and me. We both are students of cinema in that sense. You know, we really always are striving to do more and more, better and better. And she's somebody who I really have a lot of high hopes for in terms of outdoing people's expectations of her, because I know she's capable of far more.
Now it has to bring me to this question, since you have similarities. Ranbir and Kareena never did a film together because they thought that the audiences would never be able to accept certain, you know, family sort of setup, even though hero-heroine. Audiences have changed now. They're watching so much on OTT. Do you think a film with you and Janhvi in the leads would work?
I think so. I do believe, and it's a serious thought that we've all sporadically given. It's not that it's been frivolous, it's been spoken about, but there's been no material that's really stuck out that needs. I don't know if we should say brother sister, but to be honest, it would be really interesting to play out that dynamic of what we actually share, of a dysfunctional brother sister coming together would be kind of fun, you know. That this is us kind of situation, or just a road trip film. Like I always keep telling her, it's about discovering. It's like two siblings who didn't know they were there. They were each other's siblings, are suddenly stuck together in a situation, you know, sort of like planes, trains, and automobiles, doing a comedy or doing a nice life. But I think it would have to be something that's got a warm tone to it, definitely, because there's no point trying to be a commercial potboiler or a masala film. I think it has to be more felt, more heartfelt, if that makes sense. Because I feel the audience knows our relationship, so there's no point trying to commercialize it and try and make only money out of it. I think it would be nice if we can make people resonate with the brother-sister emotion at a genuine level if we do a film together. It should be done for a little more purer reasons than just the commerce of it.
You know, when I was just discussing with my crew also the films that they liked of yours, Ki and Ka always comes to mind, and you always say the maturity that he displayed was very, very important. You're actually very young when you played a role like Ki and Ka.
Did you like Priyanka, for example? I'm just asking generally.
No, you know, so I love the dynamics of it. I've always liked the kind of roles that you choose. They're very risky. You know, it's not, how do I explain it? You can choose easier roles. You were doing Gunde when you were young, which is fine, right? But you started off also, even when you were doing Aurangzeb and all, not roles that you'd want to do when you're starting here. So my question is, how, somewhere along the line, is there a template that is slightly safer? Is now that you're understanding with like an Ek villain, you look at your Varun and you look at all your friends that you chat with and you say, this worked, maybe they want this from me. Do you want to now follow a similar template at least?
Yeah, you know, maybe I was a certain way then, I'm still a certain way now, Salil. You've seen me enough. The thing is, I don't like to be pigeonholed in my own head. I like to do everything. I'm an actor, I've come here and I want to have fun doing all sorts of things. So people earlier told me that to action hero hai, to intense roles kar. I said, "Arey kyun? Mujhe romance or comedy bhi karke dekhna hai what it feels like." So I did 2 states, I did Half Girlfriend, I did Kiyanka. Ironically, those are my biggest successes.
And massive money, I was going to say, they all get big money. Yeah.
So when I was told at the time that don't break the path, follow the path that you've of least resistance and just keep doing what's working for you. I did those. Beach mein kuch nahi bhi chali, but then I wanted to do comedy. I did Mubaraka. I wanted to do another comedy and a 2-hero space. I did Bhoot Police. I wanted to try espionage and a period film. But I never have been able to pigeonhole myself. Even today, I know Equal Returns does allow me a reminder that I must not let go of this for as long as perhaps I did then. I think after Tevar, I sort of let go of this space and I said, you know what, abhi main baad mein karunga, to bahut zyada time lag gaya. I'm more aware of it now that I will definitely use this path, but this is not the only path. वो मेरे से होता नहीं है. I can't only do one kind of film. I mean, maybe at some point it might end up being an overlap of one or two that come at the same time. But honestly, I can never say कि मैं अभी एक ये mass film चली action वाली तो दो तीन ऐसी ढूंढो और इसी पे build करेंगे. वो मुझे मजा नहीं आता. I also feel there is certain regard for you, not maybe today, but after 5, 7, 10 years of your work also. So today, the fact that you can speak about my work in 10 years with certain separation.
Yeah.
When I do a Sandeep or Pinky Farrar and I do an Aurangzeb and I do a Finding Fanny, these are all very off choices to make. And Farrar's climax for that matter, Kian Ka wearing heels or cooking, these are things that sometimes you might not get the value on the day. But when you look at the whole bigger picture, there is tremendous value to being an action hero who can stand up to John Abraham and also cook an omelette for Kareena Kapoor and send her to work.
Bro, you have a filmography that is to be proud of. And like you're saying, it's already there. But now I have to talk about how do you compare with your friends. So you've got a Varun and you've got a Ranveer. Now you're out there right now and we're discussing numbers and all of them do, you know. Everyone discusses, you guys discuss it as well. Has there been a fun little, noke joke happening with the numbers?
No, but I got a call from Varun immediately on the first weekend and he said, "Arey, this is damn good and it's done well in UK." He was like, "You must make sure that the world knows that overseas also your film is doing well." I said, "Yeah, of course." So when Jug Jug released, I was in touch with him. We were shooting there. So with Varun and me, I think we are more like brothers more than friends because his older brother is my friend. Varun's like a younger brother and I'm like his older brother. You know, we have that kind of a bond. And we both understand numbers. So it's never about competition. It's more about persevering to make sure the numbers get better and better in that sense. Listen, I'm not in the position and league that Varun is right now. He's achieved something more than I have in terms of numbers. So I have to regard that. But we are not competing. I'm not trying to outdo Varun. Honestly, I would hope that me and Varun do a film together that outdoes both our numbers put together at this point in time. I think that's the need of the hour, to be really honest. I don't think Ranveer has the faintest clue about numbers, to be honest. Nor does Ranveer.
Really?
Beyond the point, I think they understand it enough to know कि picture चली है या नहीं चली. Like मैं और Varun discuss कर सकते हैं कि महाराष्ट्र territory में क्या हुआ था. Delhi UP was performing better. This is what East Bengal and West. Me and Varun can become distributors and exhibitors. You know, we can say PVR ka gross Monday night ka itna hai. We can say yaar wo single. But I don't think Ranveer and Ranveer have that culture in them. So Varun and me are cut from a much more different cloth. But in all this, all jokes about, I think now is not the time to even compete. To be honest, I'm just happy that I'm on the more positive side of the numbers right now. But we need to do better, and we need to do better together because that is the need of the hour. So numbers पहले जो थे pre-pandemic वो अभी delete करने पड़ेंगे. It's a fresh start for everybody, and we have to get back and outdo those numbers.
Now, before I leave you, I have to ask a big question. It's been talked about a lot. Alia had mentioned, how there might be a revision in in actors' remuneration. The Telugu industry is talking about it a lot. The South industry is talking about it a lot. Are all the actors understanding this? With this, do you think this is a reality that's going to happen very soon?
Of course, because it's a recovery-based business. अगर आप एक फिल्म बनाते हो 10 रुपए में और आपकी रिकवरी सिर्फ 8 रुपए है, तो आप 2 रुपए तो कहीं ना कहीं से आपको कम करने पड़ेंगे ओवरऑल मेकिंग में. Normally, the actors are top heavy on a film because they are the reason you're getting the 10 rupees. But if your actor remuneration is high and your recovery is lower, where do you cut from? You have to get realistic, and the producer has to be able to have a buffer to make better films also. No? That also suffers on account. And there's no harm in starting to take backhands. I started doing that very early in my career. When we talk about Kian Ka and films, so that time only I realized that I can benefit a film by allowing it to be made first and then look at the profits from it later. I think a lot of actors are aware. The numbers have changed very drastically now, so we have to be even more aware. And the reality check is कि यार पहले picture अच्छी बनाते हैं, बाद में उसके वो चलेंगी तो we can all be equal part of it. That doesn't mean that you have to become the producer.
Yeah.
You can just help. You can just help the film by saying, okay, and we have in this industry, a lot of people don't realize there are triggers and kickers, as they call them, on contracts. If the film does X amount of money, you pay us more. If the film sells X amount more on platforms, etc., you pay us more. So I think those will become more relevant because that's thematically more needed. And
Yeah.
Abroad also that happens. Yeah, when you do big franchises,
Yeah.
the actors take a percentage from worldwide gross. So
Yeah.
I see that happening. But actors की price वैसे एक चीज है. I just feel overall making films has become very expensive, Salil. So we all have to
Yeah,
sit
yeah.
together and also learn how to make films in a more efficient manner. Be even more professional, be even more diligent, because actor की price कटेगी और फिर भी wastage होगा तो फायदा नहीं है.
Correct.
You have to make better.
I think everyone's got to come on the
product.
same page and understand that you can't waste money anymore.
There's no point cutting an actor's fees and then trying to make money on top of it. It's if you're like let's use it for the film. Like okay. So that's also where the trust issues are in this profession. Sometimes where everybody feels like, अच्छा आप मेरे पैसे काट लो और आप कमाना चाहते हो.
So well said, brother. So well said.
We need to find producers, actors, dynamics, and directors dynamics where there is the more trust factor in using the money properly to showcase the film better.
But I think the only actor that has held his own, and you're a producer's delight. तेरी कोई भी पिक्चर कभी फ्लॉप नहीं होती है. अर्जुन कपूर always works at the box office, even on OTT. Even on OTT.
I take tremendous pride that no producer of mine should ever lose money. You might not always connect with the audience in that volume, but you should at least make sure कि अगर आपने ₹1 खर्च किया तो ₹1 तो वापस घर आ रहा है.
बिल्कुल. तुम्हारे साथ सर एक नहीं ₹4 वापस आ रहे हैं. So congratulations and so good to again have you in, and this one was long awaited. I'm glad that we got you on B for You. Thanks, brother, for joining in.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for all the love you've given me.
Cheers, brother. And every word is right. You look at all the numbers of all his films. It doesn't matter whether you've liked them or not. They've all made money. From Two States to A Half Girlfriend, to all the films have actually made multiple money. And like you said, the mathematics is going to change a lot. It's going to become a numbers game, and it's also going to be a game which is going to have to be won on both ends. No point in cutting the actor's fee if the producer is going to make money over that and not invest or reinvest in the film product itself. Let's hope all these permutation combinations work out. I'll see you again soon on Star Stop.